Welcome to this episode of What's in Your Game Room, and today we're with Ron Dean, who's going to show his massive collection to us. How you doing, Ron?
Very good, thanks.
Awesome. Now let's get right to the point. What got you into collecting?
I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up with Nintendo, 1985. I remember the first time firing up Super Mario, and it blew my mind. Fast forward into the 90s, ended up with Super Nintendo N64. I started off with wanting the games I grew up with, the games that I loved as a kid, and it kind of just OCD'd and took over.
What did you start off collecting with?
Started with NES and Super NES.
Okay.
NES, the games I enjoyed, and then the Super Nintendo, the games I enjoyed in the boxes. That was my initial target, was NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, the stuff I loved. Mm-hmm. And that was going to be my focus. Collect the games I love and stop. Didn't happen.
No, obviously not. When did you change from that nostalgia thing to like, I only wanted the games that I really wanted to collect, to now I need to get a list and see what a complete collection would take?
Just seeing other collectors online and watching their progress and some of the finds. And I would buy a game that I loved, but it came bundled with 10 other games as a bulk purchase. So I ended up with 10 here, I ended up with 15 here, 20 here. It just kind of took off and had grew a mind of its own.
What do you find was the most fun to collect?
NES wasn't too bad. I finished most of the NES set in like 6-7 months. Minus stadium events. N64, I didn't really mean to collect. It kind of happened. I went to one of the VGCC game swaps and I saw N64 games for $2, $5, $2, $5. And in one swap, I walked out with half an N64 collection in one shot.
Yeah, the library isn't that great, so like that big, so it's pretty easy.
No, N64 sucks.
I love the N64. Okay, I can see that you're going for a complete Super Nintendo collection.
Yeah.
You finished NES, N64.
Yep.
When you're done the SNES, because we know that's come to a close.
Yes.
What's next on your list?
I'm going to finish off Game Boy, and I was thinking Wii U.
Yeah, it's not too big. That would be pretty easy to finish off.
It's about 300 games, give or take.
Really, in 3 years?
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad. And a lot of it's kind of shovelware, so you can get games for a couple bucks a piece.
What are some of your favorite gaming franchises?
Huge fan of Mega Man. As you can tell by my own personal videos, there's always a Mega Man 2 clip in there somewhere. I play that game religiously a couple times a week. I love it because when I was a kid, I had got it. And there was no Game Fox back then. You couldn't just log on online and say, hey, what's the boss order? You'd have to beat a boss, try his weapon on other bosses. Okay, well, it worked on this guy. So as a kid, I sat there with a notebook. This weapon works on this. And it was the process of elimination. So for me, it was just kind of that exploration of the game. And, it took me forever. Now I can beat the game in under 30 minutes blindfolded. I'm a big fan of toys, obviously. And
really? I didn't notice.
I think some of the Mega Man stuff, like I got the red and blue helmet in the box. I've got the 25th anniversary statue. There's just something about it. There's no other franchise like it. It's got a soul to it you can't find anywhere else. But then, of course, the Mario games. With the launch of the NES, Mario 1, 2, and 3, I love that franchise too. As you can tell by all the toys behind me. Kind of OCD with that too, but...
Now, what's your favorite Mario game?
See, Mario 3 took Mario to another level. The world maps, the power-ups. Super Mario World took that and perfected it. The world map was amazing. Yoshi was a huge introduction. The power-ups were incredible. So it took everything I loved about Mario 3 and made it even better.
Now, what kind of collector are you? Do you like to go, garage sale hunting? Is that the fun of it? Is the thrill of the hunt of the games, or you just go out and just buy it wherever you find? You eBay it?
So I'm kind of a mix. I love the swaps. I love the stores. I haven't done any eBay for my Super Nintendo collection at all so far. I do a lot of Facebook trading with people. I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups. More of kind of that online community. With work and life, I don't have time to get up at 7 a.m. on Saturday to go garage sailing.
It just doesn't happen. That's the new way of collecting now. Before, when I used to do it in like in 06, we used to hit like pawn shops all the time, all little stores, just to see if we can find a good deal. And then when you pull out like a Crown Trigger for like $5, your heart's racing and stuff like that, and you don't want the person to know, so you stack it on top of other games, and you're like, here, how much for all these?
Yeah.
Like, that's when I started collecting, so that's what I enjoyed doing when I was really going out there and hitting them hard. But now, yeah, Facebook, everything like that, it just makes it more convenient for everything. Now, you see you picked out 3 games out of your personal collection that mean something to you.
Yes.
Let's start off with the first one, which is a very rare game.
Very expensive piece of crap. I had to have it. It was just, there's no set that's 100% truly complete unless you have a stadium event. So there it is in all its crappy glory. It's a terrible game.
Now, did you actually play it?
I put it in, I tested it. I've played World Class Track Meet before.
But
I had a power pad growing up, so it's the same thing.
Now, what's the second one? I see Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country. This game for me was really groundbreaking in the depth, not just the graphics, but the music. I remember the first time I heard Aquatic Ambience in the water level. Amazing track, but it fit the level and it really added to the atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
So I played a ton of Donkey Kong Country 1. I haven't really put in any time into Donkey Kong Country 2. Whenever I want a Donkey Kong Country fix, this is what I go to.
And the last one.
Mario 3. My mom had bought the Japanese version with a honeybee adapter, and me and her would stay up until 4 in the morning playing it.
Wow, that's awesome.
We used to we'd play it, and we wouldn't use the warp whistles, and we'd try to get through as far as we could together, and we'd play 2-player, so for me with her, it's kind of a really good memory. And I remember the day this came out, I was at my friend Mike's place, and she came over, and she's like, you need to come home. I'm like, why? And like in her purse, like kind of sticking out the top was the box in her purse. And she's like, well, I picked up something for you. You got to come home. Hopped on my bike. I don't think I booked it home that fast ever. There's something just iconic about that bright yellow box. So
now it's taken you 2 years to accumulate all these games and toys.
Yeah.
Would you ever get rid of it, sell it for a good price?
There's just key items I don't think I'd ever really wanted to part with. See, for me, I would look at it also as, I could give my nephew a college fund. That in turn would be a benefit to him. I probably would. They're material items. I have all these games on emulators.
Yeah, you can emulate them all.
I can emulate them all.
And they play better too in 1080p.
1080p, sprite smoothing, Bluetooth controllers, even some have net play.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're available on every platform. Emulating's cheap. Raspberry Pi 3 is $35.
And you save all this space.
And I would have an easier time getting rid of the carts than I would the toys for some reason. And I don't have a childhood connection to the toys where I do a lot of these carts.
Besides playing video games, talking about video games, collecting video games, dreaming about video games, do you have any other hobbies?
I have a 64 Chevy Impala.
Nice.
It's all original metal, but we did do a little bit of rechrome and a repaint. I used to do a lot of playing Dance Dance Revolution in the arcade. I do have a machine, as you guys saw. I don't know if you guys want to take a couple videos of that.
Well, Ron, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us in your place and looking at all your amazing stuff. And hopefully we can come back again to shoot another video.
Yeah, you guys are welcome here anytime.
Awesome.
It's good times.
And check out his channel. You can promote yourself right now.
The Handlebar Gamer, youtube.com/c/The Handlebar Gamer. It's amazing. My head's huge.
You know what? It's pushing it down and makes you look angry. You just look.
I am angry. Furrowed-browed.
I'm speeding. Yeah, I'm speeding. We good? Yep. Well, Ron, it's been a pleasure.